Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Smooth Sailing GritCast. I'm Drew.
And I'm...
And he's Pterodactyl. And together, we make the GritCast. So today we have a number of interesting topics to talk about.
Yeah.
The first of which, as I guess we've primarily established ourselves as a variety podcast that talks a lot about sports, primarily hockey. And as Philadelphians, our first topic of discussion will be the recent news coming out of the Flyers, which is that Ron Hextall, general manager, has been fired.
Yes.
And as well as assistants Gord Murphy and that other guy who I can't name off the top of my head.
Yes. So, first off, let me ask you, Drew. How do you feel about his firing? Do you think it was the right decision?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure because there's the part of Twitter that was basically saying, like, you fired the wrong guy, you know. You shouldn't have fired Hextall, you should have fired Hack. Mm-hmm. And there's the other part that said, you know, maybe the reason that he was fired is because he wouldn't let go of Hack.
Exactly.
And there's the other part that disagreed with both of them.
Yes.
And this is just conspiracy at this point because, like, we don't really know. But, I mean, judging from the comments made by Holmgren and Dave Scott, who's the owner of the Flyers, and Hextall himself in that interview that just happened today, mm-hmm. I would wager that it's because he wouldn't let go of Hack.
Yeah.
Basically, a lot of the comments were like, he's too stubborn, you know, he doesn't really have any alternatives to what he has in mind of coaching. And it seemed to me like it was just getting in the way of the team's success.
Yeah, I agree, but my one concern about this was I saw in a tweet when they were talking about his firing, Holmgren said it wasn't the coach's problem, which was very interesting to me.
Well, I have a belief that the upper management of the team kind of think that anything that's related to the coaching is related to the general manager.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they maybe blame Hextall's failures on Hextall, which is interesting, and, you know, it says a lot about how the team's organized. But
yeah,
I mean, I assume that the new GM will get rid of Hack. They'll probably want to bring in his own guy. Like, I believe, and don't take me on this, I believe that the current, you know, front runner and who is probably going to get the job is Chuck Fletcher, who is formerly with Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, he'll want to bring in his own guy because Mike Yeo, who he hired, is, like, very different to Hack.
Yeah. But I just hope that the new GM gets rid of Hack. And I saw also today that another frontrunner is a guy named Bill Zito, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, I heard of him.
And he seems pretty promising, actually.
Yeah, like, I didn't have a problem with any of the candidates they talked about. Like, I think all Flyers fans would agree with me that the number one candidate and, like, who we're hoping gets the job but probably won't is Steve Yzerman.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a pipe dream.
Yeah, I think that's a long shot. It's like us getting, like, Carlson.
Yeah. But if it's Fletcher, I don't have a big problem with it. Like, I don't know your views on it.
No, I mean, anyone that will get rid of Hack and not, like, make stupid moves and, like, trade for, like, 30-year-old vets that have, like, a couple years left.
Well, and that was a problem of Holmgren's later on. He was just under this vision that, like, you know, 2010 Stanley Cup run, that's great, but that team was massively overperforming. And then
mm-hmm.
afterwards, he just made all these moves to try and get us back there that didn't work because the players we acquired weren't good. And
exactly,
I think that assuming the Flyers hire Fletcher, I think it's going to be interesting because he goes from a situation in Minnesota where their depth was fantastic. You know, he acquires players like, you know, Jason Zucker, and he had veterans like Parise and Ryan Suter to help him.
Exactly.
But the Flyers already have an established core, you know, with Giroux, Voracek, Simmons, Gostisbehere.
Yes.
All those guys have been there, and Couturier included. They're an
Yeah.
established elite core, so you got to wonder how he would do with an established good group of veteran players, and maybe he'll establish depth. Like maybe he makes that move to get Michael Grabner. You don't know.
Yeah. One thing I saw on Twitter that was really funny was a tweet by Barstool Jordy. It said, the quote goes, "Fans, fire Hackstall." The Flyers go, "All right, you guys got it. Hextall has been fired." Fans said, "No, no, no. I mean, that's fine too, but we said Hackstall, not Hextall." Flyers, coming right up. Gord Murphy is fired. Fans, that's not even remotely close to Hackstall. Flyers, have you seen Gritty? So,
I tweeted something recently to the effect of 3 teams fired their coaches for not doing a good enough job. Flyers, hold my beer.
yeah, I mean, it seems about right, because, like, I feel Hack should have gone before Hextall, because, in my views, Hextall didn't really do much wrong. I mean, he'd established a great prospect pool. The only moves I could see him doing wrong was, like, hiring, or not hiring, like, picking up, Christian Follin, and, I mean, I guess, like, not bringing up a lot of the younglings, but that's, like, the only thing I can really see.
Well, I don't know if Hextall really had enough control over who of his guys have to play, and even if so, I feel like he was a bit conservative on that end, not calling up Hart, not calling up Sanheim until really this year. Well, he played last year, but this is the first year he's really integrated. So maybe he did have to go. Like, I think both of them had to go. I do think that what Hextall did is very vital, and if he was just in charge of drafting, I'd be perfectly fine with that.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, that's not.
Short nigga behind the tall. What I think of this world, all the dumb